Hi everyone, Josh Knoll here with Gulf Coast Financial Advisors. Welcome to Focus on the Five. Today, Jay Stubbs and I take about 10 minutes to lay out some options if you have a 401k still located at a previous employer. I hope you gained something from the discussion. Let's roll tape.
Welcome to Focus on the Five, conversations with Baldwin County business leaders and entrepreneurs, brought to you by Josh Knoll of Gulf Coast Financial Advisors. And now, Josh Knoll.
Welcome to Focus on the Five. Glad y'all could join us today. My name is Josh Knoll with Gulf Coast Financial Advisors. Today I'm joined by Jay Stubbs of First Protective. Jay, if you'd like to introduce yourself very quickly.
Hello everyone, it's good to be with you. Josh, good to be with you today.
Thank you, thanks for joining us. Today's going to be one of our shorter videos because if you've watched some of the other shows that we've done, you know that I have the ability to talk a lot. We're going to be discussing in a very high level, broad sense, what are some options someone has when they leave a place of employment and they have a 401k at that place, or have often multiple 401k options. So what we'd like to do today, Jay, is we're going to just kind of give folks what are some basic ideas for, I've worked at a company for a year, 5 years, 10 years, where it may be, and I leave, and I've got a 401k option there. So you and I have had this discussion many times. So I'm going to be the devil's advocate, and then I want to dive into some of the reasons why we might look at other options.
Sure.
But everybody always needs to understand you can leave it in the 401k.
Absolutely, you can.
There is no gun to your head.
Absolutely, you can. The whole premise of having to do something with it is completely out of reach for a lot of people.
Right.
They feel like they've got to do something immediately. You can
Right.
leave it with that 401k provider from their existing company or their previous company, and they can still manage the investments inside that 401k. They do not have to do anything with it.
Right. Just because you leave doesn't mean that often the person managing the account may not even know you're gone.
That's right.
And generally speaking, you were in some type of model allocation, model portfolio anyway. You had a blend of different mutual funds that were set to a certain allocation based on your risk tolerance, hopefully. So that is option number one. Everybody needs to understand that. If you've never been told that, that's because they wanted you to just go ahead and roll the thing over without knowing your options. But let's say that for whatever reason, you decide you've moved on, you want to roll the 401k. Well, let's do that. What are some reasons someone would want, that you've seen that someone would want to roll a 401k?
Yeah, so the number one reason is they want to have control.
Bingo.
They want to have control over their retirement asset.
Yep.
It's a qualified account. They'd like to have a little bit more, some more options available to them on where the money is invested, as opposed to the blended or the time-sensitive type of account that may be in their 401k plan. A typical 401k plan has 25 to 30 different options on where your money is allocated.
Right.
If you wanted to maintain the control and roll it into a self-directed rollover IRA, then your options are endless. You could go buy one company's stock if you wanted to. We don't recommend that.
Absolutely not.
But you could go buy one company's stock or several companies all in that rollover IRA.
Right.
You could also choose a mutual fund or two, but you're not limited to the 25 or 30 that were in the original 401k plan.
Right.
You're now in the full universe with thousands upon thousands of mutual funds.
You could go onto a brokerage platform and design your own portfolio.
You could.
And some people are very comfortable doing that, and some people are not.
That's right.
Right, okay.
So that would be control, care, custody, and control of your retirement asset, not being tied or affiliated with your previous employer. Not saying that's a bad thing or a good thing, just some people are different.
That's right.
If you want to move it away, give yourself more options, then a rollover is something you want to consider.
All right. Well, and two, another option that should be addressed is if your company has a 401, your new company has a 401k, you can roll it into the new 401k as well.
If it's in the plan for allowing for that company to accept it, yes, but it would have to be evaluated based on that new employer's plan document.
And the allowable holdings and the things of that nature.
Correct.
Right. All right. So
but more often than not, we see people just say, you know what, I'm going to move it and I'm going to roll it over, and I'm going to engage with an advisor, and I'm going to choose an allocation of investments that are right for me based on the time horizon I have from today until retirement time.
So what they choose is they roll it into a IRA,
Correct.
an individual retirement account. Now there's different types of IRAs, but generally speaking, when you roll a 401k, which is a tax deferral preferred account, you roll that into a traditional IRA, which has the same tax treatment, correct?
It's going to grow tax-free, and it's going to have penalty if you withdraw any money early, and that's age 59 and a half. And then after you've attained age 59 and a half, that's when you can start drawing it penalty-free.
Right.
But when you draw the money out, whatever your income tax rate is at the time is what your income tax liability will be.
Well, and there's going to be some people watching this video, Jay, who are going to say, what about Roth? We're going to handle Roth and the different types of IRAs in a different video, probably coming out in a week or two. We'll talk about simple, SEP, Roth, things of that nature. Right now, we're referring to 401k options, and we're boiling it down to, I come in, I speak to an advisor, and I decide that I want to take care, custody, and control of my funds, and I'm going to roll it into a traditional IRA.
The reason you want to do it as a rollover is you're maintaining that tax-deferred status until retirement time comes.
Right. And there's also details on that, but if you get with even an advisor that knows how to tie his shoes, he's going to hopefully direct you on how not to screw up getting the money from one company to another.
Yeah, it's what we call a trustee to trustee transfer.
Right.
Whoever the trustee is of the 401k, the previous employer's 401k, you're going to execute a trustee to trustee transfer to the new IRA rollover.
And from experience, not to get too much in the weeds, but if they send you the check, don't panic. Just come over and we'll get it taken care of.
Yeah.
All right, so now I have decided I'm going to come in and I'm going to take my old 401k or multiple 401ks, because you can consolidate them.
Yes.
I'm going to put it into a traditional IRA. When I put it into traditional IRA, a lot of times I think people, and myself included, fail to view the 401ks and the IRAs as what they are. They're really just buckets for putting things into. So a lot of times I'll have folks say to me, well, my 401k did not perform very well. I heard an IRA does better. Now that's a whole nother video, but the point being is you're taking it from one tax deferred bucket and you're putting it into another tax deferred bucket without any tax consequences if it's done properly. Once it's in that bucket, now I'm in my new bucket, what choices do I have? I was limited here, now I've got choices.
So your choices, as we already brought up, you can go do the individual stock, individual bond type of portfolio if you'd like.
Right.
You can move it into a managed money account with an advisor. Managed money says, hey, hey advisor, you put me into a platform where we have a management style. Management could be aggressive, could be conservative, could be balanced.
Right.
And we do that, and it's maintained and reviewed periodically, but there's a asset management fee affiliated with that.
Right. So plus usually some thresholds in that style.
Yeah, depending on the company, the management company and the advisor, they may have a say, don't bring us a qualified account, a rollover, unless it's $50,000 or $100,000 or dollars.
Usually depends on the company that holds the funds and the advisor's practice themselves.
That's correct.
Right. Okay.
That's correct. So they can do the individual portfolio of stocks and bonds. They can do a managed money portfolio.
Right.
They could roll it over if they wanted to into one product.
Okay.
That would be an annuity.
All right.
They can roll it into a variable annuity.
Now pause that thought. So when you say annuity, there's going to be people watching this thinking, you're talking about that thing my grandma keeps in the safe deposit box that gives her 2.1% interest for blah, 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 blah?
That would be a fixed
That's
rate
a fixed
annuity. So there are annuities out there that have upside potential and downside protection, or upside potential with downside risk.
Right.
Not to get into the weeds on that, but there are different types of annuities out there. So an individual could roll over their 401k into an annuity, and in the annuity space, they can look at a variable annuity product.
Right.
They can look at an indexed annuity product.
Right.
They can look at a fixed rate product that you just mentioned, like has a fixed rate, 2-3% for a specified period of time.
Right.
Or if they're in a position of needing immediate income today, start it today and draw it out for a specified period of time, they can roll it into an immediate annuity.
Right. So the point on that is, without getting into the weeds, annuities is a complete other discussion, and honestly probably will be one of the longer videos we do, because there's so many details on annuities that the average person, myself included, I think needs to know if they're going to be doing those things.
For today's purposes and today's conversation, when you have somebody that comes in and says, I've got an old 401k or a couple, what are my options? We're identifying You can do a self-directed rollover IRA, put the money wherever you'd like.
Right.
You can do an annuity product,
Right.
and you can have options open to you, but they need to sit down with an advisor like you to determine their risk tolerance, their time frame towards retirement, and ultimately what their goals are in mind, and keep their goals and objectives on the table.
So we look at 401k, we can leave it where the company's at. We can roll it into the new 401k. We can roll it into a self-directed IRA where I'm choosing the various investments, or I can roll it into a traditional IRA with some professional help. And from the professional help, we have different options, what people call AUM, money managed accounts, annuities, mutual fund accounts, ETFs, all those kind of things.
That's right.
So those are your broad options. The number one thing I think Jay and I will both agree on is if you're not comfortable with those things, find somebody that's done it before, somebody you can trust, somebody that you feel like you know, and let them lay all your options out on the table. Then you choose what is best for you. So anything else on that?
No, make sure it's part of an overall plan that fits your needs,
Right.
and make sure you're working with somebody that you're comfortable with and an advisor that can handle the different options you're looking at.
Right. All right. This has been Focus on the Five. I am Josh Knoll with Gulf Coast Financial Advisors here in Fairhope, Alabama. There's some contact info at the end of the show in my disclosure. If you'd like to say, Jay
Stubbs with First Protective and Pro Equity, same disclosure as Josh at the end of this video.
Awesome. Thank you for your time. Talk to you again.
Thank you for listening to Focus on the Five. If you are interested in learning more about Josh Knoll and Gulf Coast Financial Advisors, you can find us at gulfcoastfa.com, call 251-327-2124, email josh.knoll@gulfcoastfa.com, or message us on Facebook. Focus on the Five is produced by Josh Knoll of Gulf Coast Financial Advisors. Advisory services offered through Investment Advisors, a division of Pro Equities Inc., a registered investment advisor. Securities offered through Pro Equities Inc., a registered broker-dealer and member of FINRA and SIPC. Gulf Coast Financial Advisors is independent of Pro Equities Inc. Information presented is for educational purposes only and is not an offer or solicitation for the sale or purchase of any securities. Focus on the Five offers commentary and generalized research, not personalized investment advice. Show content is for informational purposes only and does not constitute complete description of our investment services or performance. All investments involve risk and unless otherwise stated are not guaranteed. Be sure to consult a tax professional before implementing any investment strategy.